Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order and apologize for the delay. Our first item is our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we give thanks for this day and for everything that has brought us here today. We pray for your protection, your guidance, and the direction of our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
A proclamation, Ms. Ana Carrillo, veteran servicing the community.
Yes, Mayor Council, good afternoon. This proclamation was brought before us by Juan Cedillo, who's the retired Senior Volunteer Program Project Director. And the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas Hidalgo County veterans stepped forward when America needed them the most in conflicts around the world, their sacrifice and resolve helped destroy the enemies of freedom and saved millions from oppression. Whereas thousands of Hidalgo County residents have proudly served in the armed forces and by answering the call to duty, risked their lives in response to combat, peacekeeping missions, rescue operations, and humanitarian relief efforts. Whereas Hidalgo County supports community service agencies' retired senior volunteer program that serves veterans and military families. Whereas the City of Mission supports programs which honor and recognize veterans doing volunteer work that improve lives and strengthen communities. Whereas veterans are answering the call to duty in their respective community by doing volunteer work in our local schools, municipalities, hospitals, food pantries, and disaster relief centers. Whereas November 11th of each year is the day that we ensure that our veterans know that we as Americans deeply appreciate the sacrifices they have made to keep our country free. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Mission by honoring all veterans on November 11th for their community service and urge all citizens of Mission to recognize their valor, sacrifice, service, and volunteerism of our veterans through ceremonies and prayers. Veterans serving the community. Proclaimed on this the 24th day of October 2016.
We do need a motion to approve the
So
proclamation.
move, Mayor.
Second.
The motion is second to approve the proclamation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye, Mayor.
Against, motion carries.
Mayor, this is Mr. Juan Cedillo.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Martin Garza. At this time, I would like to present a Veterans Day poster to the Commission. And if there are any veterans from El Mesias United Methodist Church or Mission Hospital or any other community service agencies that are serving veterans, I would like to as well recognize them. And I'd like to present this to the Mayor Commission.
Thank you very much. This is beautiful.
Would you mind taking a picture with the council and the mayor up front?
Dale, por acá.
¿Así no? Okay.
Look right here, everybody. 3, 2, 1. And do one more. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Congratulations.
Next item is a report from our Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Josh, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Council and Mayor. Last week, we were happy to help Ramji and Associates celebrate their new location with a ribbon cutting. Special thanks to Mayor for taking the time to come show your support to this new business. Burt Ogden Kia Mission also celebrated their grand opening with a ribbon cutting. They've got a great location right on the expressway, and it was a great turnout. We were excited to be part of the Mission EDC's unveiling recently, and we were even more excited to officially welcome them with a ribbon cutting in the unveiling of the Norberto Beto Salinas Entrepreneurship Hall. Congratulations on the honor, Mayor, and congratulations to Alex Mead and his team over at the EDC. Last Thursday, we held our annual banquet. We are proud to say it was a great turnout. Thank you to those that were able to attend. Everyone would say that it was a great time, and we had really great feedback. We are excited about our upcoming year and our new board of directors, and we are glad to know that we have the city's support. Thank you. A new business that just opened recently is Seabreeze Soup and Salad. We welcome them with a ribbon cutting. Thank you, Mayor, for making it out to show your support. We appreciate it. Frontier AC and Capital Title of Texas also celebrated their chamber membership with a ribbon cutting. We've had a lot lately. This Friday, we'll be hosting Leads Over Lunch. This event is free to members and encourages them to promote their business, meet members of the chamber and community, and make connections. We ask participants to prepare a 90-second pitch for their business. Bring plenty of cards and join us for lunch. This will be held at 11:30 to 1 at the Mayor Norberto Beto Salinas Conference Center located inside the Chamber of Commerce. Seating is limited, so please call to RSVP. Teach for America has set up offices at the new Seed building, so we will have a ribbon cutting for them shortly, November 10th at 11 a.m. That's it for now. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Next item is the reports, department reports. You have them in your packet. Is there any questions? Don't hesitate to ask.
I move to approve the reports as presented.
Second, Mayor.
Motion is second to approve the department reports. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. Citizens' participation. Do we have anybody from the audience who would like to address the council? Okay, well, thank you. Public hearings, we have 1.1A, Mr. Tijerina.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. Item 1.1A is a public hearing. This is for rezoning of a 0.34 acre tract of land, more or less, out of Lot 19-1, and also a 0.39 acre tract of land, more or less, out of Lot 19-1 as well, West Addition to Sherryland subdivision. The current zoning is R1, single-family residential, and the request is to rezone the properties to C3 General Business District. The applicant is Rogelio Rodriguez. If the council is inclined to approve these rezonings, or this rezoning, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On October 12th of 2016, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this rezoning request. The property is located 600 feet south of Business Highway 83 along the east side of Inspiration Road. There was no public opposition during the P&Z meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval of the C3 zone. This area is, the future land use map is general commercial. Staff is recommending approval, as is the Planning Commission and our city manager. This is a public hearing. This matter is now before you.
Anybody in favor or against this request? This is on South Inspiration Road, right? Anybody in favor or against this request? If not, we'll ask for a motion to approve the recommendation of the rezoning and approve ordinance 4415.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion is second to approve our ordinance 4415. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item B.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1.1B is a public hearing. This is for a conditional use permit to construct a 50-foot radio antenna tower at 1020 North Los Ebanos Road. This is Lot 1, El Divino Redentor subdivision. The current zoning is R1. The applicant is El Divino Redentor Church and Pastor Obed Jimenez. This would require the adoption of an ordinance if the council is inclined to approve this conditional use permit. On October 12th, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit. Property is located approximately 1,000 feet north of Business Highway 83 along the east side of Los Ebanos Road. There was no public opposition during the Planning Commission meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval for life of use. Staff is recommending approval for life of use, subject to the conditional use permit not being transferable to others. As you can see here, that's the location on your monitors, is the location of the antenna, that right there, and it's a 50-foot high. So Planning Commission is recommending approval, staff and our city manager are recommending approval. This is a public hearing. This matter is now before you, Mayor.
Anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody in favor or against this request? If not, we'll ask that we go ahead and accept the recommendation
Mayor, I have a question.
and approve 4416. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Tijerina?
Yes, sir.
In your notes, you indicate that there's an FCC approval letter.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't find it in my packet. Any particular?
Okay.
I saw the FCC Form 318, which is an application, but that's not your approval letter.
Yes, sir.
Normally, you get an approval letter with a letterhead from the FCC
Yes, sir.
saying you have been approved. And you do note in your minutes
Yes, sir.
that there is approved letter, so I would
Yeah.
like to put into a form of a motion to accept it, provided that Mr.
Absolutely.
Tijerina has a FCC approval letter for Form 318.
The amendment on the motion would be to approve an amendment to the motion that you will provide an approval letter from the FCC.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item C,
Item 1.1C is a public hearing. This is for a conditional use permit for manufacturing, packaging, or the manufacturing and packaging of, and the sale of dried fruit in a C3 zone at 1928 North Conway Avenue, Suite A. And this is a tract of land that's 132 by 323 feet. Out of Lot 23-7 West Addition of Sharyland subdivision. The current zoning is C3 and the applicant is Emma E. Castillo. This would require the adoption of an ordinance if the council is inclined to approve it. On October 12th, we did have a public hearing before the Planning Commission to consider this conditional use permit. The property is located at the southeast corner of East 20th and Conway along the east side of Conway Avenue. There was no public opposition during the Planning Commission meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval for 1 year. Staff recommends approval for 1 year as well. What this is, Mayor, is we have some pictures. It's small little packages like baskets of dehydrated dry fruit, as you see in your monitors. It's nothing big, and this is the machine that will be utilized to dry the fruit, and then it will be packaged. It's a small business that the applicant is proposing to open up here in Mission. So we are recommending approval for 1 year, as is the Planning Commission and our city manager. This is a public hearing. This matter is now before you.
anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody in favor or against? If not, the recommendation that we have is to approve the use permit and adopt ordinance 4417. We do need a motion.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit and, of course, the ordinance 4417. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item D,
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1.1D is also a public hearing. This is for a conditional use permit for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at Areli's Event Center, located at 1809 West Griffin Parkway. This property is on lots 9 through 11, Southern Oaks Phase 1 subdivision. The current zoning is C3 and the applicant is Daisy Vela. This would require the adoption of two ordinances, one for the CUP and one for the wet zoning, if the council is inclined to approve it. On October 12, 2016, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit. The property is located 500 feet west of Inspiration Road along the south side of 495 or Griffin Parkway. There was no public opposition during the Planning Commission meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval for 1 year. Can you show the pictures, of the interior? Staff is recommending approval, subject to compliance with all health and fire department requirements, compliance with TABC requirements, that the property be wet zone, recommend waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement to the city council of the homes that are immediately to the south. and the acquisition of a business license. We're recommending approval for 1 year, and that the sale of alcohol only be permitted as per our ordinance 4320, which is until midnight only. This is what it looks like now. This one is called Arelis Event Center. He also, Mr. Martinez, is renting from Mr. Arevalo another place to the west called Arelis Celebration Hall. So where Jaime is pointing on your monitors, that's where Arelis Celebration Hall is, and this is a brand-new building, and what you see in the pictures of the inside is all brand new. So it's a new business. This is a public hearing. This matter is now before you, Mayor.
Anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody in favor or against this request? If not, we need to approve the recommendation of the conditional use permit.
Move for approval, Mayor.
I just got a question. What about the lighting on the parking lot? I was there about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't see no lights at all.
I'm sure we
Yeah.
have some. Allá atrás, mira.
He put some on
Not
the building.
parking lot? Don't we require that?
In the parking lot right now, he's done some landscaping on the exterior. Mr. Martinez is the one tenant that's really putting in a lot of money into this existing plaza, and there's vacant lots there. And so we're trying to get some islands and medians in there, but he has put some lighting on there, on the building, but...
But we're supposed to have some lighting in the parking lot
Yes,
that's
sir.
required by the developer.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Do
sir.
we
that
have
was-
some lighting in the parking lot?
No.
No, sir, not at this time. We have some along 495, but not on...
Who is the developer?
It's an old plat, Mayor, Southern Oaks. I don't recall the original name of the developer. Right now, the lots are...
You need to find out who
Yes, sir.
developed the place, and they need to come back and install those lightings.
Yes, sir. We'll definitely do that. Yes, sir, Mayor.
And also the ordinance number is 4418.
Mayor, I want to second the motion.
Okay, so we want to make sure that you do that.
Yes, sir.
Because we cannot have that place like that.
I understand, Mayor. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I know
we do-
they're having
Hey,
functions
it-
already,
Could it
right?
have been that it's
It
in
is
the,
open already.
¿Cómo?
Not-
maybe it was
not
in the
this
plat notes, Mayor? It might be in the plat notes that whoever actually built on that lot was responsible for the lighting?
I'll double check, Mayor Pro Tem, but
But don't-
we're working on getting islands and medians as per the recent ordinance the ordinance that the council passed about a couple of months to a year ago. So we'll definitely make them come into compliance with that.
I just have a question. Why do you bring it to us if, to me, it is a project that is not complete? I mean, if you don't have the landscaping, if you don't have the lights,
Right.
it's not complete, and I know it's already open for business, am I correct?
As far as the completion of it, there is to the building codes and the landscaping that he has in front of the building and along the
Yes.
green areas,
Oh, no.
it meets
If
that.
they don't have the lighting, they're not completed.
Okay. Yes, sir, Mayor.
I don't know where,
Okay. I understand, and that's what he proposed as far as the lighting, and it,
he's supposed to have some street posts.
right, there's supposed to be like an island where the parking lot area is.
And the
Yes,
city
sir.
pays for the light. That's the problem, that the city pays for the light, but they gotta provide
Yeah.
the equipment, which is the posts.
Okay. Is Mr. Arevalo the developer, Danny? No, Mr. Arevalo owns a church and the building over here on this side on your monitor. He owns that building. He owns a church and the other building there.
Okay, well, we need to look at the plat
Yes, sir.
when the developer platted it,
Yes, sir.
and if there's no lighting
Right.
that's included at that point, then we need to do it at the time of construction,
Yes, sir.
not in a conditional use permit.
Okay. Yes,
But
sir.
at the time of construction, before this building was constructed,
Right.
one of the requirements should have been lighting in the parking lot
Yes, sir.
and not part of a conditional use permit.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Okay.
Item E,
Excuse me, Mayor, can we also do the wet zone? It would be ordinance 4419 for this same item.
So moved, Mayor.
4418 and 4419, I'm sorry. We do need a motion for the approval of the wet zone,
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
and the ordinance number is 4419. We have motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item E,
Item 1.1E, Mayor, is also a public hearing. This is for a conditional use permit to construct a 7,000 square foot garage building on a property zone agricultural at 3304 North Bryan Road. This is a 4.0 acre tract of land out of Lot 29-11 West Addition to Sherryland subdivision. The applicant is Dr. Ivan G. Melendez, and this would require the adoption of an ordinance if the council is inclined to approve it. 5,000 square feet is the main building and 2,000 square feet is an open structure. On October 12th of this year, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit request. The property is located at the northeast corner of Bryan Road and Mile 2 along the east side of Bryan Road. There was no public opposition during the P&Z meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval for life of use. The purpose of the storage building is to store 25 cars that Dr. Melendez owns there. And so we are recommending approval for life of use, subject to compliance with Ordinance 3602, which states that the facades facing 2 Mile and Bryan have block, brick, or stucco facades. And Nancy Gonzalez is here representing the doctor, and the doctor has no objections to that requirement. Staff is recommending approval, as is the Planning Commission and our city manager. This is a public hearing, and this matter is now before you.
anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody in favor or against?
I move for approval as presented, Mayor.
Second.
Okay, the
Ordinance number 4420.
4420, and it's a conditional use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Disposition of minutes, we have a meeting that we had on October the 10th of 2016. We do need approval on those minutes.
I move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes on October the 10th of 2016. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. We have to acknowledge some of the minutes that some of our board departments had. We had the Citizens at RSA Committee special meeting that we had on September the 20th of 2016. Mission Historical Museum on September the 27th. Spring Memorial Library had one on September the 20th. And Mission Economic Development Corporation one on September the 6th. And Mission Economic Development Authority on September the 6th of 2016. We do need a motion to acknowledge those minutes for the board members.
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Mr. Tejerina, we have the item 4.1.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Item 4.1 is a homestead exemption variance, and this is for a tract of land containing 2.314 acres, being a part or a portion out of Lot 29-8 West Addition to Sherryland subdivision. The zoning is agricultural, open interim. On October 12th of this year, Planning and Zoning Commission held a meeting or public hearing to consider this homestead exemption variance request. The property is located along the west side of Mayberry Road, and it measures 240 feet of frontage onto Mayberry, of which the right-of-way has been dedicated to the city already by the applicant, Mr. Luis Moreno, and he proposes to construct his primary residence there for him and his family. So the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval as per staff's recommendations, which is that they comply with all the provisions of the homestead exemption variance provisions, and which one of those is being the affidavit that this will be his primary residence. Planning Commission recommends approval, so does staff, and so does our city manager. Mr. Luis Moreno is here. This matter is now before you.
We do need a motion to accept these this variance.
I move to approve.
Second.
Do we have a motion, a second, to go ahead and approve his exemption and his variance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Against, motion carries. 4.2 is the final plat approval for Osvaldo's.
Yes, sir.
Number 14.
Thank you, Mayor. Final plat approval for Eduardo's number 14. This is a 10.25 acre tract of land out of lots 34-3 and 34-4 West Addition of Sherryland. This subdivision is in the City of Mission's ETJ. The developer is Diana Laura Izaguirre, and the engineer is Izaguirre Engineering Group LLC. This is a 32-lot, single-family subdivision. On April 25th of this year, the City Council convened and approved the preliminary plat for Eduardo's number 14 subdivision. Since then, all the lots and the infrastructure has been inspected, tested, and approved. And the subdivision is located approximately 550 feet west of Trosper Road. And there's an existing county street that leads to the subdivision called West Side Lane. There's a store off of Trosper and several residential lots that lead back into the subdivision, so it's already a paved street. The City Council back on April 25th unanimously recommended approval of the preliminary plat, so we are now presenting it to the council for final plat approval. Staff recommends approval. As you can see, the routing, our fire marshal, our public works director, and our city engineer have all signed off on it, as well as our city manager. This final plat is before you.
We need a motion to approve the recommendation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to go ahead and give the final plat approval to Osvaldo's number 14 subdivision. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
4.3, Mr. Perez.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 4.3 is the approval of the sanitation rates for the City of Mission by Allied Waste Services. Current contract provisions between the city and the Allied Waste Services stipulate that Allied Waste Services is allowed to increase the rates they charge to the city on a yearly basis based on the increase of the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, for the previous 12 months period. The city is in receipt of the correspondence from Allied Waste Services where they're providing a notice of the CPI for 2016 based on the preceding 12 months. The CPI increase by an adjustment of 2% is based on the information provided and reviewed by staff. It's recommended the city approve the new rates, and these are the landfill rates.
What's the rate?
The landfill rates currently for trash is $21.50. It's going up to $21.93. And for brush, it's currently at $18 and it's going to $18.36 per ton.
This is a total, Mayor, if you look at last year's tonnage, this is a total of an increase of $17,000. But just to make clear, this increase is on the city's part and not necessarily directed to the customers, in this case, the City of Mission customers' bill.
When is this contract up with the Allied?
This is the third year on the contract. We have 2 more after this.
We're up 3 years, no? Or is it 5 years?
It's a 5-year contract, and we're on the third year.
This was based on the lawsuit back in 2013.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I move for approval, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and second to go ahead and approve the new sanitation rate to be charged to the City of Mission, which is about $17,000 more. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
4.4, Mr. Guzman.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. I have item 4.4. The staff is seeking authorization to purchase via a port contract 430-113 for 2017 Colorado Chevy for $25,486.22. Attached, you will find a product pricing summary with the amount and respective contract number.
How much you paying for it?
$25,000.
486.22.
24,000 what?
48622.
Okay. Need a motion to...
I move to approve.
Second.
A motion and second to go ahead and approve the purchase of a new vehicle for the meter readers department. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 4.5,
4.5 is a utility billing department requesting authorization to surplus the attached list equipment. This item will be used at a trade and can no longer be used for the department. Staff is recommending to attach the equipment as declared surplus.
And the piece of equipment, Mayor, is a printer.
okay, we need a motion to go ahead and authorize
I move to approve.
the surplus equipment. We have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 4.6,
4.6 attaches the review and approval for a summary utility accounts receivable to be reclassified at this time for the amount of $14,650. This amount is for the period of April 15 through June 15. Recommends to reclassification of the utility receivables.
okay, so you want to reclassify the utility account receivables for the second quarter,
Yes, sir.
2015.
I move for approval, Mayor.
Second, Mayor.
A motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Against, motion carries. 4.7,
4.7 contract is renewal with Datamatic, a sole source vendor for the city meter reading software license and
maintenance agreement.
for 1 year renewal of the existing contract for the meter reading system, maintenance and meter reading department. The maintenance fee preserves the software license and provides telephone support for the Router Star meter reading system and provides both hardware and software maintenance for the handheld units. The renewal of this contract includes a yearly fee of $10,753.89 for the renewal period of October 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2017.
So the number is 10,000?
Yes, sir, $10,753.89.
Okay, we need a motion to go ahead and approve the contract renewal.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 4.8,
4.8, the staff is requesting authorization to engage Encode as a sole source of 1 year renewal in the existing contract for the online payment of software like through the city's website and facilitate the payments of the utility bills. The renewal of the contract includes the a monthly fee of $920 to remain in the same renewal period for October the 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2017.
okay, so the sole source is Encode contract renewal. We need a motion to allow that.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and second to go ahead and approve the renewal with Encode. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
4.9,
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Item 4.9 is the Mission Fire Department is seeking authorization to purchase 22 sets of firefighting bunker gear. Bible contract 432-13. This gear will replace sets reaching the mandatory 10-year retirement as set forth in NFPA 1851 requirements.
That's so moved, Mayor.
Second.
okay, how much is the purchase for?
$51,634 for 22 sets of firefighting gear.
Okay, we have motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item 4.10,
410, the Mission Fire Department is seeking authorization to enter into a lease agreement with GK Services for work uniforms for firefighters. The agreement will be for 3 years, 12-month terms. The uniforms are of Nomex material
which we currently wear right now for firefighting and second layer protection for firefighters. For a total of $20,000.
I move for approval.
Second.
You have a motion and second to go ahead and the authorization to enter into a lease agreement with G&K Service. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item 411. So Terrazas.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I come before you to present item 4.11, approval to purchase controller box for the Inspiration Overpass traffic signal from its sole source vendor. Staff is recommending to purchase a controller box traffic signal from Texas Highway Products, a sole source vendor, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code Section 252.022, general exemptions, a procurement of items that are available from only one source. The controller box will be installed at Inspiration and Business 83 intersection for the improvements of the Expressway Overpass project. The plans call for the City of Mission to participate with the materials, and Texas will pay for the installation. Attached is the sole source letter from vendor Texas Highway Products, Ltd., and the list of items to be purchased. Staff recommendation, authorization to purchase controller box for traffic signal from its sole source vendor in the amount of $47,985.
Okay, we need a motion to go ahead and approve the purchase, the controller's box for
Move to
Inspiration.
approve.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item 412.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 4.12, approval of work authorization number 24 with L&G Engineering for the GIS project, Phase 12 integrating geographic information system and data maintenance entails the gathering and maintenance of data sets as well as upgrading the data project. L&G Engineering in association with La Playa Mapping will be involved with the development and deployment of the citywide GIS system. Staff recommendation, approval of work authorization number 24 in the amount of $69,000.
We need a motion
Move
to approve.
Second.
A motion is second for the approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
413, Mrs. Lerma.
Mayor and Council, item 4.413 is to authorize city manager to execute interlocal cooperation agreement between the Hidalgo County Urban County Program, City of Mission, and participating agencies for the submittal of the Regional Assessment of Fair Housing Plan. U.S. Department of Housing requires all entities that receive money to develop a fair housing plan. What that means is that every American is able to choose the community in which they want to live in. It's free of segregation, that they have equal access to schools, to health care, to jobs, to transportation, and commercial enterprise. The City of Mission will cooperatively develop a 5-year fair housing plan regionally with the Hidalgo County Urban County Program, as well as 11 other cities and housing authorities. Developing a regional plan will include resident and community participation and will be instrumental in funds as they're being considered for this particular area. So it's very important for us to develop this plan. Staff is recommending
We need a
approval.
motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second to go ahead and authorize city manager to execute interlocal cooperation agreement with the city, with the County of Hidalgo, Urban County. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 414, tax collection report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. Item 414 is the tax collection report for the month of September 2016. This is the acceptance of the monthly property tax report. The 2015 total adjusted tax levy was $19,097,947.41, and the amount of the collection as of September 30th, 2016 is $18,465,405.43, which represents 96.69% of the total tax levy.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and second to go ahead and approve the tax collection report. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Mead, Alex Mead, 415.
Mayor, Council, these items are typically done by Lee McCormick. Unfortunately, his father is ill, and he couldn't make it, so I'm going to be presenting this item on his behalf. This item is an item that was presented to the council back in August 22nd, 2016. Typically, when you guys approve these resolutions, they last for 60 days, which unfortunately, the 60 days have already passed, and the bond hasn't been approved, or is scheduled to be approved on October 27th, which is this week. So I'm asking if you guys will ratify and affirm this resolution again. So that's the item that you have before you.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Motion and second to go ahead and approve the resolution.
1479.
1479. Ratifying and affirming a prior resolution regarding Carbon Light Recycling, LLC. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 416, Mr. Dominguez.
Mayor, City Council, the Mission Police Department is requesting approval of a resolution for the purpose of submitting an agreement for the temporary closure of state right-of-way to the Texas Department of Transportation for the Sherryland High School Homecoming Parade to be held on October the 27th. The parade will commence in front of the Sherryland High School parking lot and proceed north on Sherry Road to East Griffin Parkway, east on Griffin Parkway to Taylor Road, and back to the school off of Taylor Road. The agreement is required by the Department of Transportation for the temporary closure. The Mission Police Department will be responsible for securing the Sherryland High School homecoming parade route to ensure the safety of both motorists and pedestrians alike. We're requesting authorization to present it to the Texas Department of Transportation.
Resolution 1480.
Yes, sir.
I move for approval.
Second.
A motion and second to go ahead and approve Resolution 1480. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 417.
The Mission Police Department is requesting approval of resolution for the purpose of submitting an agreement for the temporary closure of state right-of-way to the Department of Transportation for the Veterans Memorial High School Homecoming Parade to be held on November the 3rd, 2016. The parade will commence at the 2300 block of North Conway and proceed north on Conway onto 2 Mile Line and end at Veterans Memorial High School parking lot. Again, the agreement is required by the Texas Department of Transportation for the temporary closure, and will be responsible for securing the route on this one as well. We're requesting approval to submit it to the Texas Department of Transportation.
I move for approval.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and second to go ahead and approve the resolution of 1481. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item 1418.
Mayor, City Council, good afternoon, Mr. Garza. Mayor, in item 4.18, last month during the budget process, ordinance 4395 was approved, and at that time, part of the ordinance allowed us to hire 125 patrolmen or officers for the patrolman position under civil service. Last month, the Mission Police Department was awarded the COPS grant that allowed for them 8 additional police officers. So at this time, we are requesting to amend ordinance 4395 and allow for us to increase the number in the patrolman position from 125 to 133. So the new ordinance would specify, if approved, would have, on lieutenants, we'd have 4 sergeants, 8 corporals, 9, and then the patrolman's position with the 8 additional would be 133. There would be 2 assistant chiefs, and the chiefs are capacity at the police department would increase from 149 to 157. So this ordinance, all we're requesting is those additional positions in the patrolman classified position.
They're all going to be patrolmen.
Monday?
They're all patrolmen.
Yes, sir. It's on the patrolman position. So it
Ordinance
increases from
number-
125 to 133.
What's the
Move for
ordinance?
approval, Mayor.
Second.
What's the ordinance number?
1483. I'm sorry?
Ordinance 4421.
4421.
Okay. We do have a motion and second to go ahead and approve ordinance 4421. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 419.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Item number 4.19 is authorization to submit grant application for exercise equipment through Greenfield Outdoor Fitness Equipment for Birdwell Park. Mission Parks and Recreation is requesting authorization to submit for grant application with Greenfield Outdoor Fitness Equipment. This grant is part of a school initiative program providing matching grants for up to 50% for qualifying public and private schools. However, municipalities are also eligible to apply for projects utilizing joint use areas. Greenfield Outdoor Fitness Equipment has been designated as an integral part of the design for the proposed tennis center at Birdwell Park. Greenfield's outdoor fitness equipment helps students build confidence and enhance their physical fitness no matter of their athletic ability. I might add here that 3 of the 6 units that we designed are wheelchair accessible. Staff recommendation is authorization to submit for this grant application.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second to go ahead and approve the submittal of a grant application to exercise equipment through the Greenfield Outdoor Fitness Equipment for Birdwell Park. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
420.
Item number 420 is authorization to submit for grant application for exercise equipment for CWV Park, Banworth, and Mayberry Pools. Mission Parks and Recreation is requesting authorization to submit for grant application with ExoFit outdoor fitness equipment, which will go up to 100% grant possibilities. This is for CWV Park, Banworth, and Mayberry Pool areas. This equipment will give community members the opportunity to stay healthy and maintain an active lifestyle while enjoying the outdoors at CWV Park, along with 2 sets of chinning bars, both at Banworth and Mayberry Pools for our TAF and AAU swim teams. Staff recommendation is authorization to submit for grant application.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have motion and second to go ahead and authorize the submittal of the grant application. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Robert Salinas.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council members. I come before you seeking authorization to reject and resolicit for bids for the North and South Water Treatment Plant Facilities Laboratory Analysis. The City of Mission has accepted and opened 2 bid responses for the laboratory analysis. Both bidders, Integrity Testing and Inc. and EMSL Analytical Inc. were found non-responsive by not submitting the signed and executed conflict of interest questionnaire required as per general terms and conditions. Again, staff recommendation for this item is the authorization to reject and resolicit for bids.
Okay, we need a motion to reject all the bids.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 422.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 4.22 is a final plat approval for Crystal Estates Phase 2. This is an 8.05 acre tract of land out of Lot 27-2, West Addition of Sherryland subdivision. The current zoning is R1, single-family residential, and the developer is DG and GG Investments, LLC. The engineer is BIG Engineering. This is a 30-lot single-family residential subdivision. The lot sizes are 65 by 126. On July 27th of 2015, the City Council convened and approved the preliminary plat approval for Crystal Estates Phase 2. The subdivision is the second phase of Crystal Estates, located at the northeast corner of Los Ebanos Road and Rebecca Street. The City Council unanimously recommended approval as per staff's recommendations. At this time, everything has been tested, inspected, and approved for these lots, and which once again are 30 single-family lots. And staff is recommending approval. As you can see in the routing, we have our Fire Marshal, Public Works Director, City Engineer, and our City Manager all recommending approval. This is now before you, final plat.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the final plat.
I move to approve.
Second.
A motion and second to approve the final plat approved for Crystal Estates. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That terminates our agenda, and Chief, do you have any comments?
Yes, Mayor, on behalf of yourself and the council, I just want to thank the museum, the director, Cynthia Lopez, and her staff. We had an event for Días de los Muertos this Saturday. It was a wonderful event. We had a lot of participation, a lot of public involvement, a couple of sister cities, one from the state of Morelos and the other one from the state of Coahuila. The mayor was present, and just, I think it was a real nice event, and the sister cities left very happy. So thank you and your staff for that turnout.
I have the same comments. It was very nice, a lot of people, and I've never seen so many people in that area before. They should be congratulated. So that's all I have, and now we'll go into executive session.
That's correct, sir.
I move to approve.
I move that we go into executive session pursuant to VTCA Government Code Section 551.001, Mayor.
Second.
We have motion and second to go into executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Mayor, I move that we re-adjourn.
Second.
A motion and second to reconvene. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Okay. The attorney, ready? Consultation
We're in
with...
adjournment already.
Mr. Mayor, at this point, on items 7.1A and 7.2A, it's my understanding from executive session that there will be no action taken from the council.
Okay, so there's no action on any of the items. We do need a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.